Welcome to the Nancy Lee Show. This episode, I was privileged to sit down with James Lamb, who is only 12 years old. James may be young at age, but he's very wise. Some would say he's an old soul. So give us an opportunity and check out his cooking, follow him on Instagram, and give us a feedback, comment in the comment sections, and let us know how you like the show. You talk about distilled water. Why not just tap water?
The tap water here is not that good. So I use purified distilled water because it has a lot of good minerals. And purified water is still good, but distilled water has a lot of good minerals too. So then,
for those who are on a budget, what tip do you have for them?
well, my skin products are not my skin products are not expensive. I'm still a child, so my brother's girlfriend, she buys a lot of things that are $40, and it's you don't need that much stuff. So what I do is you could still get good products from the drugstore, or stuff that can last long. That's a good deal, even though it's expensive, it will last long. And some products.
Now, what else do you do besides washing your face with distilled water?
I do a sheet mask every once in a while, or do a facial every 2 weeks or a month because I'm still young. But if you're older, I would say about 16 or and over, you could do it every week, a face mask. Well, you could use sheet mask. I read an article, you could use sheet mask every day.
But explain the difference between face mask and sheet mask.
Regular face mask could be peeled off, and sometimes you have to wash it if there's residue. And other sheet masks you have to wash it off too. For sheet mask, you could just take it off and rub in the moisture. And some sheet masks and some other masks, you could just lay on there and it will absorb all the moisture.
Wonderful. Now, so you do the distilled wash, you do your daily routine of these products, you do the sheet mask, and I heard you make your own mask.
My friend said that, why can't I put this in my face? And you can't put this on your face because even though you can eat it, it's still bad for your face. Some people put baking soda on their face.
But you seem to have a different opinion about that. So can you please explain?
Well, you shouldn't put coconut oil on your face as a moisturizer because it clogs your pores. And then if you put it, and then baking soda is a physical exfoliator, so if you scratches and it's not really that good because it's more harmful. And if you use, and you said that you use, sometimes you use a teaspoon of lemon juice. Mm-hmm. Well, you could, you said it's more affordable, but lemons, you have to put around a tablespoon or squeeze of lemon. Yes. And it's always it's always messy, and it's always splattering everywhere. And lemon extract, it extracts the stuff from the lemon. So
the harmful stuff.
Yeah, it extracts everything but the harmful stuff, the good stuff.
Okay.
So you just do a few drop, or 1 drop, or 2 drops. And then if you're doing it, if you're making homemade with a lemon, it's all messy. It won't last you that long. You're gonna have to keep getting it. And there's the other half of a lemon. So we have to wrap it. And if you do lemon extract, it last you a pretty long time. So some stuff costs more, or is smaller. And you could use different stuff, but it will last you a long time, and it is better for you. Could you say? You could get some other exfoliators that instead of getting a lot, you could just get a lot of baking soda. Some you only need a little bit, and it works pretty good. And it might be a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it.
Angel is how to keep your face free from blemishes.
Benzoyl peroxide and salicylic acid. Those are, some people are allergic to those, but I'm pretty sure some people are not allergic to both. And you could also, but if they are, you could also use snail mucin, which when you, it's like when the snail makes a trail when they move, a trail of slime is left. So then they people attract all the harmful stuff out of it, and it repairs the skin and like the skin barrier. And if you have like a really bad rash or like really dry skin that's like red or irritated and itchy, you could just put that on and it should get rid of it.
Why would anyone in the world want to put snail mucin on their face?
It actually has like the best results. Like those three products are usually are mostly in cleansers, but snail mucin is like in moisturizers, in eye cream, and that is the reason why it's an eye cream because it repairs like the wrinkles and like hydrates because the snail mucin is inside the snail to keep it having moisture.
Well, there you have it, Angel. I hope that answers your question, snail mucin. The next question comes from the same person is how often can he wash his face?
But you could like mix it up, like do night creams that are more concentrated at night and like stuff that are more concentrated in one day and like do other products the next day or like in the same day. So most you can wash your face is 2 unless you're using moisturizer or sunscreen.
Now, the next question is how to cover age spots without feeling like I have 10 layers of makeup on.
You could just use like a primer that covers like the pores and the wrinkles, and you could also take care of your skin with like sunscreen because sun ages you 7 years, and use vitamin C serum or like something that takes care of your skin while you're using it as makeup. And just use some coverage and some color correctors to get rid of the dark spots and brighten, and to get rid of like cover up the wrinkles. And then you can put concealer over it and probably this.
I want Jennifer Lopez dewy skin. What foundation gives that glow she has?
Maybe so you could put like a setting spray. You could put like some sprays over it, like any kind of setting spray. It can make it seem like less cakey and dewy. And then sometimes if you like do a facial before or a sheet mask or like any type of mask that brightens your skin, it could like your makeup won't cover that much. It just makes your makeup more dewy.
But if you take great care of your skin, you won't need the foundation in the first place, right?
Yeah, but if you want to wear makeup for a good occasion, because some people want to wear makeup, or like if they're going somewhere, or like if they're having to do a talent show or like perform something in front of a crowd, like the bright light makes you like sort of pale. So if you want dewy skin, then I would say you could do the foundation just to clear your skin while you're using it in your face. You don't need a dewy foundation for that.
Now, the next question is, what facials are best for the different skin types?
You could use a moisturizer for dry skin, like a snail moisturizer. And then for oily skin, you could do like something that won't completely dry out your face, but like use products that are meant for oils, like suck the oils out of your face, but still keep the natural oils inside. And if you're doing like normal, you could just use all skin types. The thing that I would recommend is all skin types, because if you put too much dry things on your like stuff that are for dry skin types, it could turn oily, and you have to switch to something else, and there might be some product left. So then you should use all skin type facials in case your skin changes over the years or in a few months or something like that.
Right. Because see, for my face, I have oily on the forehead, right, and on the nose, but I'm dry on my cheeks.
You could just put some dry moisturizer and oily and like oil control moisturizer on your nose and head.
I see. Thank you. Okay. This questions come from Lou. Is it a standard practice for most facial salons to push certain skin products?
Well, usually salons, they usually like want to push it because they want to sell, but you don't have to buy those stuff unless they're like good.
You should always do your homework first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that answers all the questions about facial for the day. if any of the audience have further questions, can they contact you directly?
They can contact me on Instagram.
On Instagram. And that Instagram account is James Bond 2.0, correct?
Yeah, it's capital J and then capital B and then no spaces.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so first what I do is I wash my face with either one of these two, and this one's more of a toner, which is like to balance the pH, which is like the acid. But I'm just gonna stick with this. This is a Korean, well, these two are Korean brands. And I use distilled water instead of regular water because in Arizona or in the lower states in the West, the water is like really bad for you because it has a lot of metals and it has a lot of bad minerals since it doesn't come from the mountains. It comes from the ground. And distilled water has a lot of good minerals, even if it did come from the ground. Because distilled water is more purified, so then everything from the ground would go away. So then this is the distilled water I use, and it lasts me about a week. Well, actually, it lasts me 2 weeks, but I'm sharing it with a few people. And then the wash that I'm using is a gel wash, and it's clear, and it's used for all skin types and sensitive skin. So if your skin changes, sometimes it changes to oily and to dry, and it's good because you don't have to switch it and waste it, because it changes along with your skin type. Okay, next I use the cleanser, and I just use a little bit, not that much. And this is good for my skin type for 12-year-olds because it's not too harmful, but it still does good things for their skin. This sweeps everything off, and it's really gentle. As you can see on the ingredients list, it goes to in an order, and it helps it goes in an order if water is first on the list, so that means the water is more concentrated, and then at the end there's some sort of acid which is less concentrated, so that's good because all the acids are at the end, so it's less concentrated.
And then you don't use towels to dry it, right?
I don't, because it wipes all the moisture on, and I just want my face to I just want my skin to absorb all the distilled water. Like if it was normal water and I was stuck with simple tap water, I would wipe it off because I don't want my skin to absorb it. But this is really good for your skin with a really good mineral, so I don't want to wipe that. I don't want to wipe all the good stuff off, so I just let it sink into my skin. And while that's happening, I use a hydrating gel cream. These are by the same brand, and I have a simple routine so I don't get white ends, because white ends are like bumps on my face that there's two types of acne. There's regular acne with pimples that are red and pus comes out of it when you pop it. And one thing is you shouldn't pop it because it makes wound in your face, and when you pop it, it just sinks in. And another thing is, there's another type of acne, which is black ends, which it sinks into your pores. And it's the bacteria in your pores that you can't really get out. Well, you could get it out. It's just really hard because you have to pluck it out. And then there's also white ends. And when you use too much complicated stuff, or switch your routine a lot, then it'll harm your skin and just has little tiny bumps. So then I had a more complicated skin when I was younger, but it was a little harmful. So then I learned to just use what I need to use. I use a sheet mask or a facial once in a while, but I don't usually do it that much. And usually I either get a band for facials. I put it over my head so my hair doesn't get in the way, or I just do my hair in the morning. But in the morning I do my hair and then do the facial.
How long would you say this normally takes you every morning?
About 10 minutes. It shouldn't take me that long. And then I just use the Cetaphil moisturizer, and it makes your face really dewy, which is shiny and bright. Usually the Koreans have really slightly oily, bright skin. So the last two things I'm going to use is just it's more not like a moisturizer, it's overnight, but I still use it in the morning too if I if I'm doing something going out or something. So then this is a really soft cream moisturizer, and it just makes my face more shiny and dewy, because I don't want to get dry skin, because a lot of people in my family have really dry skin. So then what I do is I use some moisturizers that are really good for my skin. And then after that, I ended up with sunscreen. And a lot of people think if I'm staying inside, I still wear sunscreen, or if it's not a cloudy day, because it's not the sunlight that's making your face that causes skin cancer. It's UV lights, which stands for ultraviolet. And a lot of people think that I don't need sunscreen, but you should still use sunscreen, because there's a high chance you could still get skin cancer, and you'll probably live longer with if you put on sunscreen. So then, because in Arizona, in Maricopa, Arizona, that has the second highest rate of skin cancer. In Australia, it has in Kingsland, it has the first highest rate. So it's really important to use sunscreen every single day. unless there's no sunlight, even if you're inside. And I usually apply it every 2 hours. This is also a moisturizer, so my skin could like feel softer. And you might think like I'm adding too much moisture in my skin, but it's just to absorb it. Because in Arizona, our faces in Arizona is like really dry because it's a desert, and then like everybody in Arizona or dry places should pack on some moisture. I just do thin layers. I don't put like a lot. But this moisturizer, it looks like it's a lot, but you just have to keep blending it in. So I usually recommend like ones that like blend in easily. But I'm just waiting to get a new one because I don't want to like get white ends. So I'm just swish it slowly. I'll just add something else in. And then this is just my face routine. And as you can see, it does give a shiny look.
Dewy look?
Yeah, a dewy look. Because shiny, people think that shiny or dewy means oily, but like usually I have like a dry skin. So like, but this like stops it from being dry. Because in Arizona it's really dry, and a lot of people in my family have dry skin. But I did give them some facials, and it made it look like shiny, dewy, and bright. Because it just brightens my skin.
So let's get into cooking. What age did you start cooking?
I started cooking like with my sibling, with my sister and my mom when I was like 4. But I didn't get really into it. They just let me mix. And then I started cooking more. And I went to a culinary school for kids, a children's culinary school. And then I went there last year and it taught me like a lot. So usually I don't need any recipes unless I'm baking, because baking has to be specific. So then I just changed the recipe up, and I started, but when I really started was around when I was 8.
Wow. Now,
cooking is less specific, so I just don't need a recipe. If I do, then I just use that as a guideline.
mm-hmm.
And if it's a really good recipe that I tried or from a restaurant, I just follow it. And if it's baking, I just change the recipe a little bit. I don't always go on it. You can still have you can still have electronics that you're addicted to. You shouldn't be there all the time. You could cook with your children, and some to hold it up, you could do your facial routine. I would say Chipotle over, and you could just do their hobbies and that they don't do with technology. So right now I'm making banana bread, and I'm wearing a sheet mask because if people who don't have time, I know I'm 12 but people still have homework, or they might go out or on vacation, or they're taking a plane. So there's a lot of things that people are busy with, especially 12-year-olds like me. So then, first, what I have is the bananas.
What are you making?
A banana bread.
Okay.
With chocolate chips.
Okay.
So I'm done with my mask because I just prepared everything. So I'm just gonna take it off.
And you put the mask on while you were preparing the ingredients, correct?
Yeah. And this is just another way to if you have to go somewhere. So then,
if you have a busy schedule, right?
yeah. So then I have a masher that I like to use. So then, you just need to like mash the bananas.
Now, what kind of bananas you recommend using?
Like bananas like this with the cheetah print. It's supposed to be. I know like this looks like a little disgusting, but if it has like dark spots on the bananas and even on the bananas inside, it actually means like it's really ripe and sweet. So sometimes you just want a natural sweetener for your banana bread.
Okay, so you need 3 bananas and a cup of chocolate chips.
Yeah, you need a cup of chocolate chips. So then, right now I'm just adding. After this, I'm gonna add a cup of sugar in this bowl and the butter. And it's a 1/4 cup of butter.
And how much flour do you use?
2 cups. And then this is 1 teaspoon of baking soda and then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I just add them in the same container because I don't really need to put them in 2 different containers when I'm preparing. So once the bananas are like mushy like this, try to get them into small chunks. Not as chunky as the chocolate chips, but maybe like a little bit less, because you're gonna be mashing it in the bowls when you add the flour and the sugar. So I'm gonna replace this with, like I said, a cup of sugar, and then 1/4 cup of butter. So make sure it's softened. So then usually I just like try to mix it until it's softened. So then this usually takes like not too long to do, because like the butter's already softened, but if it's hard, then it takes a pretty long time. So then for the oil, after this, you're gonna put the oil in, and it's grapeseed oil, but you could use any oil, but grapeseed I find is more useful.
Would you say it also tastes better?
Yeah, it also tastes better too and gives it a better texture. And I like to use this for like a lot of desserts because I saw it on this channel on YouTube, and I actually tried it and it actually worked really well. So then if you don't want to use grapeseed oil or any oil, I just use 3 tablespoons. You could use like butter, but instead of using 3 tablespoons, you could do 4 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup.
Okay, so what's the purpose of you mixing the butter and the sugar if you're going to throw everything in the blender anyway?
Oh, I'm not gonna throw it in the blender. Well, I know what you mean, like throw everything inside. It's to make everything more it's to make it more like fluffy, cakey, like a cake bready texture.
Okay.
So it makes it feel more like light and fluffy. So then you could use like another kind of mixer, like a stand mixer, but I'm just doing it by hand because I feel like it tastes more better for some reason, because like I feel like you put more work into it, which that makes it like more taste better, because I feel like I could tell when stuff is like made with like by hand, because it feels like it tastes like it took like a long time to make than just something that was made in a factory in like a stand mixer. So then after this, I add the oil. If you need to like get it out, I just like bang it until it gets out, because usually like clumps up. That's why I like to use stand mixers better sometimes. But I don't like to use like these mixers. I just use the ones with like where you press the button. And then after this, you add 2 eggs. I usually do 1 egg at a time. And I crack it in here so it's easier to like if there's any shells, or to see if so I could check the egg, because some are like bloody, or like there's 2 eggs in one because they're like twins. So then I'm gonna add another egg. After that, and then the egg yolks sometimes like give that actual color. Like if you're making a cake and it's like a yellow cake, like a vanilla yellow cake, the egg yolks give it color. So like usually they tell you to get like you have more egg yolks than egg whites, because egg yolks I feel like make it more have a little pop of color, like yellow color. Like in creme brulee, it has pudding, which usually puddings are like yellowish, and that's why they have egg yolks, because like it makes it more colorful and like yellow, which gives it more of like that makes you like want to eat it. So I already told you that this is 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So I'm just gonna dump that in, and this is a pinch of salt and this is a few pinches of salt. Like since I'm young and since I have tiny fingers, I do 2 pinches. But if you're an adult, you could do just like one pinch. And then this has half a teaspoon of cinnamon and a half teaspoon of pumpkin spice, which gives it not a pumpkin flavor, but a more a banana spice flavor, like pumpkin bread, but like with banana instead. So it gives it more of like a fall seasoning, heartwarming flavor. So I just give it a little stir, and I put the chocolate chips in to coat it so it doesn't sink to the bottom. And so usually people add it in last, but that works up the gluten, and if you overmix it, it could actually ruin it. So what I do is I mix it in with the flour. So if you're doing a blueberry muffin, I mix it in with the flour. Well, I wouldn't mix it in with this, but since this is chocolate chips, I would. Like instead of if it was like ready to melt, I wouldn't do it. But like if it's like something that's hard, then I would recommend doing it. So then if you have blueberries, mix into the flour. If you're mixing like strawberries, you could do that too. So after this, I used all of my ingredients besides the milk. So I'm gonna put switch these, and I'm gonna put the egg mixture into the banana mixture. And this is like a nice color. It's a bright yellow from the egg yolks, and it's gonna match the banana bread. So then, for the flour, I'm using bread flour and cake flour, but you could use cake flour and other flours, like all-purpose, because bread flour gives it more of a chewy texture, and cake gives it a soft texture, and bread flour gives it more dense. And we want it to be dense, but some people like it fluffy. It depends what you want. All-purpose flour is more like in the middle. So right now I am just gonna mix these two together. So first we're gonna make banana bread, but I'm changing it to banana muffins. So you could also add it in like a bread pan. So I just used a scoop and scooped it in. But like earlier, I just added the milk, and I used almond milk, a tablespoon of almond milk added in, and I added the rest of the flour. So then, it should be even, but it doesn't have to be like close. It could just be like some could be like full and some could not, like be too full. So you just want a little bit of space. So now I'm just gonna put it into the oven.
Did you preheat the oven?
I preheated it to 350.
How long does it usually preheat takes?
It usually takes about 10 minutes to 30, depending on the oven. And you should leave it into about 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, so I'm getting my banana muffins out of the oven, and it's a little hot, so that means it's fresh, and the chips are melting.
Let's try it, shall we?
Yeah.
I get to pick one?
Yeah, anyone.
Anyone? Ooh, I'm gonna pick this one. Ooh, it is hot. Now, are you going to try it with me?
Yeah, sure.
Are you really going to let me wait on your singing for next time?
Yeah.
Not even a little itsy bitsy short verse?
Yeah.
Yes?
No, I'm gonna wait.
Okay, so let's try this.
Thank you. Oh wow, it's hot.
It's really, really good. Not too dry. It's actually not even dry. It has that banana. I can taste the banana. It's moist, and it's just perfect. Well, James, I thank you for giving me this opportunity to be on my show. And I'm excited to look forward to your future. Whatever it may be, either baking, skincare, or dermatologist, or singing, we are all excited, and we will definitely follow your life after this. So thank you. Would you have any tips or any advice for the audience?
Always wear sunscreen.
That is a really great advice. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it. And if you have someone that you think I should interview, please leave a comment or the person's name in the comment section. And thank you for your continued support. We look forward to seeing you again on the next show.